Today on the dwzEp3RichmondZ show, we'll be getting acquainted with the unprecedented history of the East Bay's Richmond, California. From the best museums to guide you through Richmond's history, to the best places to stay and travel to, we'll be hanging out here in Richmond, in Point Richmond, and we're also going to play golf at the Mira Vista Golf Course. All of this today and more on the dwzEp3RichmondZ show. 1, 2, 3, 4! Before the enactment of Prohibition, Richmond was best known for its winery, but the city, along with the rest of the world, changed forever with the onset of World War II. The construction of 4 Richmond shipyards and the Shipyard Railway, which later helped build the SS Victory that we'll visit later today, dramatically increased the population. Richmond was at the forefront of employing thousands of African Americans and women entering the workforce for the first time, and went on to break many records during the war. Richmond expanded so quickly during that time, and Point Richmond, once an independent island off the San Francisco Bay, became the commercial hub of Richmond. The city celebrated its centennial in 2006, and I'm excited to discover more of its backstory and see how it has changed. We start our visit by checking into the Hotel Mac. Only 18 miles away from San Francisco, the Hotel Mac is in the heart of Point Richmond's historic district, making it a natural choice for our home base. Once called the Colonial Hotel, it served the workers of what's now known as the Chevron Richmond Refinery, until it was purchased by a former manager of the Claremont Hotel in the 30s. His first order of business was to change the name, ushering in a newfound era of popularity among locals. The Hotel Mac suffered a structure fire, but was luckily restored and reopened as a fine dining restaurant and hotel in 1978. The Hotel Mac remains a landmark today, not only because it's listed in the National Register of Historic Places. Each of its 10 rooms is decorated uniquely, and no 2 rooms are the same, making your stay here at the Hotel Mac a one-of-a-kind. Well, we could lounge around all day here today at the Hotel Mac, but it's beautiful out, so we're just going to drop off our bags for now. I know a notable bayfront view that's ideal to kick off our stay in Point Richmond. As one of the last surviving ships manufactured in the Richmond shipyard during World War II, the SS Red Oak Victory is fittingly referred to as the ship that Rosie built. Rescued and restored in the 80s, the SS Victory isn't quite open to the public, but I've talked Marcia and Victor into letting me stow away for the afternoon. It's one of the best places in Richmond to travel to. The SS Victory was operational in its heyday and still boasts major amenities like a museum, a theater, a full kitchen, and a steering wheel to play captain with. Man, my son is going to be jealous.
So the Red Oak Victory ship is part of the Richmond Museum Association.
Yeah.
So in order for us to be sustainable and to be able to stay here forever, we have some work to do, some money to raise, and we're going to have the engines running, and we'll do events out in the bay, cruising.
Nice.
They drive? Oh, absolutely.
How long does it take, so when they do turn the wheel, really how long does it take for them to turn the ship? Yeah.
It's small adjustments, I'm imagining. But
Small adjustments. Yeah.
not really a question I know.
It's all about
Cheers to that.
Plus, everything here runs on steam, and we can't make steam just yet.
What's up with
Not until
that?
the boilers are finished.
No. All right, so we're going to set sail. It's time. Yeah?
Okay.
Let's get to know the SS Victory above deck before we get cabin fever. So this ship was in World War II, and
Yes.
it served through
It
Korea?
served from the end of World War II all the way through the Vietnam War. So it supplied munitions for all those wars, and basically ran out of here, out of San Francisco Bay.
And made it back alive.
Yeah, in one piece, more or less.
Built here and now housed.
Yeah.
And now housed here. And so, how many guns are there on board? Do you know?
Total guns was only 6, I believe,
Okay.
because we were not necessarily a war vessel. We were just all transportation.
Oh.
But when you given the city of Richmond and its heritage, it makes sense that we have a transportation ship here. So
Great. Good place to hide out. At least I know. I need a place to go. I'm here.
yeah.
Does it get any better than history with a view? Thanks, SS Red Oak Victory. We'll be back again soon. Now we're off to check out the ship's counterpart, the Richmond Museum of History. If you've ever been curious about diving deeper into local history without Wikipedia, this would be the place to start. Open for more than 60 years and housed inside the Carnegie Library, I'm sure if these walls could talk, they'd tell me to ask Melinda to show me some of the museum's distinctive exhibits. We are inside the Richmond Museum of History. Melinda!
Thank you.
You're a walking encyclopedia. I cannot wait to talk to you.
There's a lot of wonderful history here in Richmond. And a little bit about this sign is that we here in Richmond had an earthquake refugee camp. So after the 1906 earthquake in San Francisco, they put people on a boat and brought them over here to Richmond. And there was a giant tent city. And to reduce the chances of any looting, you know, because people have lost everything in San Francisco, they came over here with nothing. The police really laid down the law, literally. So right now I'm standing in front of what was likely the first Ford off the Richmond Assembly Plant in 1931. And this car has a very interesting story. It was driven by the city manager for several years. The purpose of that was probably a little bit of advertising and a little bit of city and corporate relations. The car went unused for several years after manager McVitie was finished driving it, and the city sold it to the Museum Association for $1. So we took the door frame off of the museum, we brought it in, and the Ford Motor Company actually restored it for us for free. So this car is in mint condition and it would run, but it doesn't have a battery or fluids in it.
This picture right here is a panorama of Point Richmond, but in 1912.
Right, exactly. And I love this picture because it shows just how much tideland there was between the mainland Richmond and Point Richmond. Point Richmond actually used to be an island, and I'm going like this because there was a big swath of water in between Point Richmond and the mainland. Wow. And it just goes to show how much we actually filled in order to connect the two. It's a really interesting feat of engineering to be able to move that much land. And make it dry there.
You guys had the first female mayor in the United States,
yes,
1926?
1926, yes. Richmond, actually, there was a lot of firsts about Richmond, and one of them is the first city mayor and, female mayor. And there were a lot of, when you look late to more recent history of World War II and the big contribution that women made to the World War II home front, women have always had a very strong role in Richmond. And we've even had some very more recently, some very strong women mayors as well. Irma Anderson, she's African American, and then Rosemary Corbin, she was also a female mayor. So yeah, it is very interesting.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank
this
you.
Has just been so cool.
Thank you for coming and giving us this wonderful opportunity to share Richmond's history with the Bay Area and hopefully beyond.
It's been
Please
awesome.
come visit us.
Okay. What a revealing trip to the Richmond Museum of History. Thanks again to Melinda for taking me around this cornerstone of the community. Coming up after the break, we're on the boat to the East Brother Lighthouse. And later, we chat with some of the Rosies at the Rosie Riveter Museum. dwzEp3RichmondZ is paired up with our favorite co-star, the Bay Area, to release our show's first ever book, available in stores and on our website on April 25th. dwzEp3RichmondZ, the book, will have the unique lifestyle experience you've come to love from our show. Experience our celebrity interviews from the Mission to Napa. dwzEp3RichmondZ offers something for locals and tourists alike. That's right, the best destinations to visit, eat, sip, and be merry in the Bay Area like never before. You can jet over to our website to find out all the details. I'm taking a boat ride to the East Brother Light Station. Actually, it's a Victorian lighthouse bed and breakfast. Nestled on top of an island that separates the San Francisco and San Pablo Bays, East Brother is an operating lighthouse with 360-degree views of the bay. Our boat driver, Brian, is one of the innkeepers of the B&B, and he and his wife, Stephanie, have brought me out to the lighthouse to show me what it's like to be an innkeeper here. We have made it to the island. Okay, Richmond Bridge is behind us?
Yes.
Yes? And how far are we away from Point Richmond? From the point?
On water, we're about maybe 10 minutes.
Nice.
Yeah.
When was the lighthouse built?
The lighthouse was built in 1873 and 1874. Yes.
Nice.
And it's been a functioning aid to navigation for mariners ever since.
Nice. Often you get to stay on an island in the Bay Area.
That's right.
Right.
You know, much better than Alcatraz.
Right.
Yeah, I did say
Yeah.
that. How many rooms do you guys have?
We have 5 rooms altogether, 4 in the main house and 1 in the fog signal building.
Cool.
Yeah.
We're at the top of the lighthouse.
We are.
We're at the top.
Great. Never been anywhere like this in the entire Bay Area.
There is nowhere else like this in the entire Bay Area.
It's pretty special.
There's very few lights in lighthouses that you can actually go up to the Widow's Walk and just hang out.
Just hang out. You guys will come and get people on the harbor, right?
Yes.
And then bring them out here.
Correct.
Bring them out here, they can spend the night and they can stay up here as long as they like. Drinking champagne, watching the sun go down.
What's your favorite thing about being here and being the innkeepers here?
Go ahead. I think just being on the island. I mean, just being out here and relaxing.
And watching everybody else as they come in to some place that they had no idea what to expect.
Yeah.
And just be completely charmed like we are. It's a magical little place.
Yeah. It's going to be pretty hard for me to willingly get back on the boat, but we've still got more to show you. It's sadly time to say goodbye for now to the East Brother Lighthouse. Thank you, Brian, and thank you, Stephanie. Coming up, yes, we can. A tour of the Rosie Riveter Museum you won't want to miss. So how do you get here? If you're already in the Bay Area, use BART. 3 train tracks make up Richmond's Iron Triangle, and BART is one of them. Once you're on the Richmond line, accessible via transfer from select BART stations, the Richmond train will take you into the business district, which you can transfer to the AC Transit bus to Point Richmond. Exit onto McDonald Street and board the 72M to Point Richmond, and you're on your way to a relaxing afternoon or weekend getaway in the Point. Be sure to check BART and AC Transit websites for further details on scheduling and pricing. Whatever you choose to do once you're in the Point, make sure you choose BART to get you there. dwzEp3RichmondZ has paired up with our favorite co-star, the Bay Area, to release our show's first ever book, available in stores and on our website on April 25th. dwzEp3RichmondZ, the book, will have the unique lifestyle experience you've come to love from our show. Experience our celebrity interviews from the Mission to Napa. dwzEp3RichmondZ offers something for locals and tourists alike. That's right, the best destinations to visit, eat, sip, and be merry in the Bay Area like never before. You can jet over to our website to find out all the details. After learning so much at the SS Victory and the Richmond History Museum, it only feels right to complete my history lesson with a stop at the Rosie Riveter Museum. The flagship national park in Richmond's waterfront district has a year-round exhibit open to the public.
I really also like the Who is Rosie exhibit because it shows that Rosie wasn't just this one person. It was an array of people, people of color, people both middle class, low income people. It was everyone came together.
But the museum's most special attribute is their storytelling with former Rosies. I'm excited and honored to sit down with the 4 women and Bob who were at the front lines during that time for an interview. I am hanging out with 4 legends in yourselves because of everything that you guys did, and everything that was built here in Richmond, just the history here, it is outstanding. Can you guys tell us each what you did, like what you were working at when you were working for the ships, what you were doing specifically?
I was a pipe welder. They would bring all the pipes out to West Storage. It was a little area on the outskirts of the shipyard, Yard 3.
Yeah.
They'd bring all the pipes out there, and we would weld them together to their specification. So when they brought them back to the ship, they were all ready to assemble. I mean, they were already assembled, ready to put on the ship.
Were there a lot of women doing that job
I
at
have
that
a
time?
picture over there, and there's about 15 of us,
Yeah,
mostly all women.
mostly all women. And so when you were here in Rosie the Riveter, you know, here in the museum, and you guys all do the tours, right, on Fridays?
We don't do tours.
But you
We
speak
try
to the
talk
people
to
who
the
come.
public.
We stay in here, and this is what's called the education room.
Okay,
And the people come in, and we talk to them.
and you talk to them like you're
Yeah.
talking to me. And what are some of the things that you guys share with them?
Our stories of when we worked in the shipyards, World War II.
What was that like?
Oh, it was the worst of times and the best of times.
It was exciting.
It was. And remember, it helped us to come out of the Depression. We were
Yeah.
all raised during the Depression. And so we were able to, I think most of us were independent in a small way, but it did give us our own money.
I'm just very inspired, you know. I mean, and for what you did for our country, and really just for being just in the forefront of advancement for women and for men too.
Did you know we had equal pay for equal work then?
Seriously?
Yes, we
Yes,
did.
we did. Yes.
Did you?
We
Really?
got the same
Yes.
salary that the men
Yes,
made.
absolutely.
Really?
Side by side. You did that work, they did it, you both made the same.
So why was that happening here, but it couldn't happen in other?
Because we worked for Kaiser.
We're back to Mr. Kaiser. I used to
He's a
work for Kaiser too,
genius.
so he's
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
3 cents an hour to make enough money to come out here on. Then I made $1 an hour during the week, $1.50 on Saturday, and $2 on Sunday.
Oh, but those Sundays were nice.
I was
I'm
rich.
like, volunteer for more
And I
Sundays.
was able to start a savings account.
It says a lot about the community here in Richmond
Yes.
and just in general that Kaiser was able to pull something off where women were paid equally with men. The fact that
Yes.
he even got away with it when we know that's not what it was in the country.
No.
You know, it just says a lot, and it helps us really bridge that gap so much more because women, we deserve so much. So people can come down to Rosie the Riveter
Yes.
and meet you guys
Every Friday.
I'd love to hear more stories, and thank you so much.
It would be fun to talk with you.
Oh my God, the
Yes.
joy of my
Yeah.
career is getting a chance to hang out.
We
Thank you.
appreciate it too.
I appreciate you too, Mom. Everyone should volunteer.
Exactly, especially because that epoch, World War II, gave us so much. You know, our modern life is due to that and the contributions of so many people at that time. Men, women, children, and being able to be close to the role models. Rosie's here is just so wonderful.
Everyone should volunteer. Coming up, before we end our stay in Richmond, we'll get a local's perspective on the point. dwzEp3RichmondZ is paired up with our favorite co-star, the Bay Area, to release our show's first ever book, available in stores and on our website on April 25th. dwzEp3RichmondZ, the book, will have the unique lifestyle experience you've come to love from our show. Experience our celebrity interviews. From the Mission to Napa, dwzEp3RichmondZ offers something for locals and tourists alike. That's right, the best destinations to visit, eat, sip, and be merry in the Bay Area like never before. You can jet over to our website to find out all the details. I've fallen for Point Richmond's ingrained history and breathtaking bay views. Now I'm headed to Fagley Realty to get a better idea of what it's really like to live in the Point. You know, why not? I might retire here someday. Jerry recently celebrated 46 years living and working right here in the Point. I can't wait to hear more about this from this Point Richmond native. Did I say it right, the Point?
Yes, the Point.
The Point.
Or the Hidden City.
The Hidden City.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love the seriousness that locals say when the Point. We live in the Point.
Yeah. No, it's I hear that a lot. A distinction, like people write out Point and abbreviate Richmond, you know, so
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's a unique place.
Yeah, and I mean, after all these years that you've been here, and now, you know, I know that you have the office in Albany as well, but, you know, all these years you've been servicing and taking care of people here. I mean, what is it about the Point that you love so much?
I think small towns, when I was younger, I used to spend a lot of time. I'm from Pennsylvania with my grandma, and she lived in a small town. And I just loved that. They had a swimming hole, and it was a place you could walk around and be free to walk around and at night and that sort of thing. And so when I came to California, it was just a natural for me. Once I hit upon Point Richmond, I said, that's where I'm going to live. So I made it a point to live in the Point, and moved here in 1974.
That's awesome. And then you've raised your whole family, and like finding a home is such a part of, it's a huge part of building a family, right? And so what kind of homes? I mean, like you've got marina front, you know, so many different ways you can live here in the Point.
Well, you have a variety. I mean, we have condominiums in the Point that start in the high 200,000 price range. We have condominiums in Brickyard Cove, which is another community of waterfront, and homes with boat docks. And those start in the high 200,000 and go up to probably 800,000 with penthouses. So there's a real variety of homes and styles. Here in the Point, you can find homes on the water side, or the view side as we would call it, starting in the $600,000 range and going up to the $2 million range. And we have homes that sell for as much as $3.6 million.
Well, you know, we can find you here in the Point, and then the Albany office is really accessible too. And you know, it's great because you guys, if we want to buy a home, we can come here, or we can go to the Albany office and, you know, kind of look around that area because you serve. And that's a great little area right over there. Yeah. I love that you represent the community in so many ways, you know, and that you're a part of this history here.
Yeah, I'm very proud of that, and we're very involved in the community, so it's great. Yeah, we know it's great when little kids drive by and say, "Hi, Jerry."
Yeah. Jerry, you're the best, and you've showed me so much about what it's like to live here in the Point. We've had an eye-opening adventure here in Richmond, and it's hard not to fall in love with a city with so much history. Whether you're thinking about spending a weekend close to home or an afternoon discovering hidden history, make sure Richmond and the Point are on your list. I know it's on mine.